Let's dive a little bit deeper into that crazy Miami Dolphins win yesterday. What is up, Finn fans? The Miami Dolphins are 1-0. There's a three-way tie for first place because the Patriots beat the Bengals, which I kind of called. If you go back and watch my pick prediction, I think I had the Bengals winning it, but I said it's going to be a close one, and I told you take the Patriots with the spread of 9.5. Well, you would have made some money. And the Buffalo Bills coming back and beating the Cardinals, kind of watched a little bit of that game. The Cardinals kind of sold on that one. They had multiple opportunities to put that game away. Kind of was watching a lot of games yesterday. And there were some teams that at first we were afraid of looking at the schedule. Now that I look at it, yeah, we still have a little hiccups here and there, and so do those teams. But there's some teams that aren't as crazy good as we thought they were going to be. Mostly Cleveland. I had Deshaun Watson. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, brother. But we're going to look at more of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins game. I got some more in-depth stats, snap counts, got some player press conferences after the game that I want to talk about. But real quick, I'm going to be on Bleacher Report again today, 1 o'clock. A lot of you guys came over and supported me. I had almost about 100 people in the live stream on Bleacher Report. Love you guys for that. It does kind of show Bleacher Report, hey, give this guy more live streams. So if you do want to see me more on the live streams and you have the opportunity at 1 o'clock today, come stop by on Bleacher Report. I will be live at 1 o'clock recapping the Dolphins-Jaguars game. So let's jump into this. I'll give you some stats to start it off. We have, let me just move this over, Tua Tagovailoa with 338 yards. That is number one in the NFL as of right now. That could change if the stats get updated or if Rodgers or Brock Purdy go off like crazy. He had one touchdown, 101 passer rating, which is 8th, and a 62 completion percentage. My brain just shut off on there. LCAD, which is the length of the normal air yards thrown, 43.8 yards. So essentially, how far was his longest pass this year, which is only a game, air yards. So again, that's what the A in LCAD stands for, air yards. 43.8, which is 8th in the NFL. There's about 7 quarterbacks that threw a further ball today. 2.52 seconds time to throw. It's not 31st ranked, but it is 30th ranked, and kind of sucks. But hey, there's only so many times we could talk about the offensive line. They ain't going to do anything about it. We can't talk about it anymore. Tyreek Hill, 130 receiving yards, is second in the NFL. He had one touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 109 receiving yards, that is 7th. So as of right now, the Dolphins have 2 wide receivers in the top 10. Again, stat updates that could change very easily. Not necessarily going to talk about much because everything else kind of gets mashed in, and like our run game wasn't really there. So like we don't have a leading rusher, kind of only had 1 sack each. But I am very happy with what I saw. The little minimum that I saw of the all 22. All 22 will be out today. So tomorrow I will do a film breakdown over everything. But I am happy what I saw out of all of that, especially on the defense. He held them to no points in the second half. He made Trevor Lawrence look not good in the second half, and he is one of the top highest paid quarterbacks, more than Tua Tagovailoa. So I'm very happy with what I saw. Let's get into some next gen stataroonies. And we're going to look at the Dolphins game. There it is. All right. For the longest completed air distance, that's what LCAD stands for. Tua, 43.8, like I said, 8th ranked. Trevor Lawrence, 35.7. Fastest ball carrier was Jalen Waddle. He hit 20.3 miles per hour. Washington, 20.2. And the fastest sack was Calais Campbell, 4 seconds to Trevon Walker's 3.8. Now, this is kind of what we wanted to see here. As my big fat head's in the way. This is what we kind of wanted to see here, is where were a lot of the passes thrown. And as you can see, 14 passes were behind the line of scrimmage. Tua attempted 37 passes, and 14 of them were behind the line of scrimmage. Whereas you look over at Trevor Lawrence, he attempted 21 passes, and only 3 of them were behind the line of scrimmage. 14 passes behind the line of scrimmage. That's not going to cut it. He had 7 in between under 10 yards. Altogether, 13 under 10 yards. So what? 20... 27. Jeez, Doug. 27 passes altogether under 10 yards. Again, so he only threw 10 over 10 yards. We weren't really pushing the ball down the field. A lot of it was behind the line of scrimmage and driving me nuts. And you could say, well, that was just throwing a check down. We got check down to it back. No. If Tyreek Hill drops 5 yards back from his position at the line of scrimmage, it's a designed play, a designed, bubble screen, a designed swing route. It's designed to throw the ball flipping 14 times behind the line of scrimmage. That needs to change. Then you see your rushing again. Most of it was out of the left side, again, behind Teron Armstead, on the outside. Interior of the offensive line. 3 attempts for 4 yards. He got 1 touchdown. It was just booty. And then you have Bigsby. His was on in between the center and right guard. That's where he got most of his yards. Receivers, you got Tyreek Hill over here, which is league average separation, 2.96 yards. Tyreek Hill was sitting at about, I'd say, 4 yards separation. Jonnu Smith had 5 yards separation on some of his routes. But look, you look at Braxton Berrios. Durham Smythe, even Jalen Waddle was kind of under the league average in separation. You look at their receivers, again, this is your league average in separation. Kirk, Thomas, Gabe Davis, and Washington were all over their average receiver separation. This needs to be a little bit better. We need Berrios. Come on. Like, you had no separation. That's killing me here. That's your number 3 receiver, has 0 separation. And then you have your pass rushers here. Average separation from the quarterback. Look at Jalen Phillips. Just way under. He was about a little over 3 yards average separation. Now, Sealer and Agba kind of over the average. Their guys roughly around the average, a little over. But Campbell, Phillips was just absolutely destroying it. Then we have, I'll show you this one. This is another one that made me scratch my head. This is your snap count for the Miami Dolphins, right? And here's the problem that the Dolphins had last year, and it's kind of the problem that's peeking out its head. You have Odell and you have River Craycraft on either the PUP or the IR. So they're going to be out until at least after... My brain was like, what is your schedule, dog? After the Titans game, that Monday night game, they will be out. Point blank, period. Your top 2 receivers here, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, right? 51 snaps, 50 snaps. At some points, they did come off the field. I'll read it to you. Braxton Berrios, Grant Dubois, and Chosen were the ones behind them getting the snaps. They weren't good. They weren't good at getting separation. And then you had Durham Smythe. He got 30 snaps. He was targeted 3 times. He dropped all 3 targets. But you can see here, where is it? They talk about Miami's rotation. Dolphins continue, the back. Here we go. Heavy rotation. Julian Hill. If it was clear passing situation on 3rd down, Smythe. Miscellaneous. This is what I want to show you. This one right here. The Dolphins wide receiver rotation was very similar to the past season. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Braxton Berrios all played at least 20 of 23 snaps out of the 11 personnel. In other formation groups, they were more okay rotating their receivers in and out of the game. The only difference was the backup receivers, including Dubois, who was signed after being cut from the Green Bay Packers, and Robbie Chosen, who were elevated from the practice squad. So again, these were the guys that were being rotated in. Killed me. Dolphins rookie receiver Malik Washington missed the game due to quadricep injury. He was limited in practice earlier this week, but didn't practice on Friday. That is going to be absolutely huge to get him back for hopefully the Bills game. Running back Jalen Wright was a healthy and active for Miami. He remains 4th on the depth chart. Miami wanted 3 tailbacks. We can get him back in there as well. But you could see how that rotation is going to start to be a problem. So if Malik is good to go, again, they're only going to practice for 2 days this week. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday, might not even do a full practice, maybe a walkthrough. It's a very short week. If Malik is good enough, and maybe that's why he didn't play yesterday, and we can get him back and he could be that third receiver, that would open up a lot of things, because Malik's speed and what we saw out of him in the preseason can really help, because what you saw out of Braxton Berrios was not good. I literally showed you his separation is non-existent. It's less than a yard. And it was just not good at all. So there's a lot that needs to be fixed there when it comes to that. The defense, on the other hand, I'm happy with the defense. I don't think they really have. This is a fantasy PFF. PFF at this point of me recording this, which is Sunday night, PFF hasn't updated their stats, so I can't give you much in the aspect of the defense, but we saw it. Javon Holland with the game-saving fumble. You had Calais Campbell with the sack. You had Emmanuel Ogbah with the sack. They played a bend-not-break style defense. I would love to see more pressure. Like, if I'm going to be critical of the defense, I want to see more pressure and more sacks. Yeah, 3 is good and 3 is nice. I want to see more pressure on the quarterback. There's a lot of times, especially on certain touchdown passes and long down distance conversions, where Trevor Lawrence was able to stand back there and kind of wait. Yes, they kept guys in to block, but I want to see more pressure. With Bradley Chubb coming back, a lot of what I noticed was Phillips was getting doubled a lot, which is going to leave a lot open for Bradley Chubb, which is going to be absolutely huge when he comes back. Like, that's going to be a real pivotal thing for this defense. But I'm not upset. Like I told you guys when I was talking about the projections for this season, we were very high ranked when it came to yards given up, but we were 22nd ranked when it came to points. I will take not giving up points versus not giving up yards. If we can, all right, you go in between the 20s, and then all of a sudden we start causing turnovers in our red zone, or we start, forcing turnover, and they just don't score. They put up yards, but they don't score, and I'm fine with that. I'm not upset with the way the defense played. I said that in the recap. I'm not at all. A little bit tighter on your coverage. Even Jalen Ramsey came out. I'll read you this tweet from Jalen Ramsey. He came out and he said something about his play, which I like, that these guys are keeping themselves, accountable, because Emmanuel Ocho came out, and that one play, I think it was on 4th and 1, where they tried to play, it didn't happen. He tried to run the other way, and we stopped, and we got the ball in the 30, and then we ended up not getting anything because of a sack and all this horrible gameplay. Jalen Ramsey came out and he said, "Oh, well, I didn't have the best game, but F it. I'm going to still get after it. Got to make some shake." So he, again, came out, understood he didn't have a great game, but did his thing like a chicken wing. So I'm happy about that. Little player press conference, Tyreek Hill on the comeback win. He said, "It's great for the confidence in the locker room and for all the guys to see we're not going to be easy to beat. We got some alphas on the team. Just blessed to be part of this team." It was McDaniel even kind of talked about it. It was nice to see them come back from such a deficit. It wasn't a crazy deficit, 14-0 at some point, but it was nice to see them not give up, come out of the half, score the points they need to, win the game, and the defense held them to nothing. Calais Campbell said, "My goal was to set the tone for the whole season. This team is resilient." On Jalen Phillips, he says he's special to close out the game. That's the guy we're going to need all season. And a lot of people I saw on social media, they showed the video of week 1 against the Chargers. Jalen Phillips gets the sack to help us win the game, and he gets the sack to help us win. Essentially help us get the ball back to win the game. Tyreek Hill on being detained, he says, "No idea. It's crazy. Wasn't disrespectful because my mama didn't raise me that way. Didn't cuss. Didn't do none of that." I'm not going to talk about it. I kind of talked about it in the beginning of the live stream. I know about it. He was detained. Calais Campbell kind of went over, tried to, bring down the situation. He was detained. It was a block away from the stadium. I'm not going to say anything. I don't know what happened. We'll find out when all the information comes out. it just is what it is at this point. It talks about Achan. He says he's a dog. He's one of those guys that can do it all. He's a very special talent. He's going to continue to get better and help the offense. Yeah, he had like 40-something receiving yards. Tyreek Hill playing after getting detained. He said, I turned up. I was pissed off on the sideline. I was fired up today. I needed that. Hey, he went off. He's, what did I say? Second ranked in receiving yards. McDaniel reveals both of Tua's longest throws were on his second read. He says both of the biggest gains of the game were something this offseason we're really emphasized on. That was not the number one progression, but the number two in both situations. So his long pass to Tyreek Hill and his long pass to Jalen Waddle were second reads. So maybe he's getting better at it. Nothing against our two previous teams, but the game that game we don't win the last 2 years, and that's because of the growth of the people that have been for those 2 years. And now you can, but here's the thing, right? You look at it and you could say, well, hey, they beat a team with a winning record last year, but they'll still say, hey, they're 0-1. You didn't beat a winning team. See how stupid that is? It just doesn't make any sense. Tyreek Hill called out the offense. Tua called out the offense at halftime. Tyreek says, this is the first time I've heard Tua's Hawaiian accent. It was crazy. He was turned up and animated in the locker room. He called me out. Good, man. He's taking that leadership role very seriously. McDaniel on Tua's halftime rant, he says it was genius. It was genuine, and it was not anything but conservative. There was details that led to execution. At the time, he definitely felt there were several guys that were loose. So, and then Tua came out. He on the comeback win. He says it tells you early on quite a lot of our team. We went through a lot of adversity, but good teams find ways to win, even if it does not look good. He said on the first half performance, he said we need to get our head, and this is what he said. So if Tua says it, I'm going to say it. We just need to get our head out of our ass. That's what it was. We got punched in the mouth. So essentially, that's how you have to answer back. On Tyreek being detained, he says, I'm always going to support my teammates. But yeah, I like the new mentality. Right? It's kind of that not give up mentality. And I like the more of a leadership role, more of what Tua did at halftime. Now, again, we have a short week. They have today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. They are home. Buffalo has to travel, so they can't do as much preparation as we're going to do, preparation H for their hemorrhoids. But Thursday night, we will be facing the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo kind of struggled a little bit with Arizona. They did bounce back. They, took care of business. We did as well. Big game. If we can win this game, it's the first of many monkeys to get off the Dolphins' back. It's a huge divisional game. Got to win it. Will I think they'll win it? Well, you'll have to find out Wednesday, because this is how it's going to play out this week, because it's a crazy week. Today you get this. Tomorrow you get the film breakdown. Wednesday you get the preview. So instead of giving you like 2 days to watch the preview before the game starts, you get in a day. Wednesday, you get the preview. Thursday, before the game, you'll get the picks. So I'll tell you what my pick is, because you already know who I think is going to win the game. And then probably Saturday, you get the film breakdown, because it normally comes out a day after. And then we get to relax and watch football, hopefully 2-0, and rooting for all the other teams to lose, like the Patriots and the Jets. But that's what I got for you guys today. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. We are very close. As of me recording this, we are sitting at hold on. 48,940. We need 60 more subscribers to break 49,000 subscribers, which means we need 1,060 to break 50,000 subscribers. Which is crazy. Again, I'm giving away a jersey, a Tyreek Hill signed jersey, when we break 50K. But we are 60 away from 49. So we're getting there. But if you're new, you like what you hear, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like usual, stay classy. My friends out.